All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Chris's Sports Corner. Man, thank everybody for being here. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. All right, man. So y'all know what we about to talk about. About to talk about the Boston Celtics and these Los Angeles Clippers. Um, I had this game marked to watch today because I felt like it was gonna be a good a good game between two good teams, right? Like and I know, especially with Boston, you'll look at the record and be like, I don't know, if they're really a good team. Be there at the end of the year. Like I'm not saying they're gonna come out of the East, but they're gonna be in the mix. The Clippers gonna be there at the end of the season. I'm not saying they're gonna come out the West, but they're gonna be there. So these are type of games you watch, you pay attention to, but also you want to pay attention to for example, with the Clipper, there's no Kawhi Leonard, so you got to put an asterisk aside the overall game because there's no Kawhi Leonard. But you want to see the other players that are going to step up, and kind of fill that void for as Shannon Sharp would say, oh why? All right, man. But even though I felt like Paul George did his part, he was 12 of 26. 5 of 15 from the three. Could have been a little bit better there, but 3 of 3 from the free throw line gave you 32 points. I mean, he did his thing. He gave you 32 points. Now somebody else got to pick up that slack. And I think when Kawhi or Paul George is out, there's one person I look to, right? And that's Lou Will. So we'll look at Lou Will's stats: 4 of 13, 2 of 3 from the three, 12 points. You know, me personally, with no Kawhi Leonard, you need more than that from Lou, right? Now I get it, man. I feel like he's one of those people that I'm so used to being a prolific scorer, someone that's a walking 20, 25 points, that when he get 12, I'm like, yo, what's going on? But at the same time, we do got to remember he is getting up in age, and his minutes is down, so he only played 22 minutes. So I mean that obviously played a factor in it as well. So you had to figure out where you're gonna get your production from. Reggie Jackson had a good game today. He gave you 25 points, 10 of 14 shooting, 7 assists. So overall, man, I think that that was a good game for him. You wanted someone else to step up. I think Reggie Jackson actually did step up, and it rounded out with Beverly giving you 8, Ibaka giving you 7. I need a little bit more from Ibaka. I want him around 12 to 15 points, especially in a game like this. You're gonna need it. And Batum gave you 10. He's another that I want to have a couple more points. So overall, man, I thought they played well. I mean, they scored 112 points. They just gave up 117. Kawhi Leonard is obviously is a big piece to their defense. So with him not being on the court, that's going to definitely play a role. But overall, man, I thought overall, we all know the Clippers are a team that's going to be there at the end of the year. This team is different with Kawhi. Not saying they're all world, but they're definitely a different team with Kawhi. They got that person that they like. He's their guy. Like game tight, game on the line. Throw the ball to Kawhi. Let Kawhi do Kawhi, type of thing. With them not having him, especially down the stretch, that I felt like they really missed him. Even though Paul George did, Paul George like things. It still wasn't quite enough. But let's talk about the Boston Celtics, because the Boston Celtics, to me, man, has been one of the teams that I'm a little baffled by this year, man. I definitely expected them to have a better record than what they're showing. Tristan Thompson gave you 13 on 10 of 6 of 6 of 10. Jason Tatum, he didn't have a good game. He was 5 of 16 for 14 points. Jason Tatum is one of those guys that sometimes he can have these kind of games, but you hate when he have them against good teams, because this guy got superstar written all over him. Jason Tatum got superstar written all over him, but he can't have games like these against big opponents. I feel like that's kind of holding him back, because now he do go off against big opponents too, but when he have games like this, it kind of to me it's not taking the maximum chance at that stage because I'm a Jason Tatum fan. I made no bones about that. I've been saying this for years now. I think Jason Tatum is the next guy. He got all the intangibles. And he did have somewhat of an off night tonight. Not gonna hold that against him. But I wanted him to have, especially in a big game like this. I need him to be that guy because I think he is the guy for this team. Thies gave you 9. Kimball Walker gave you 15. I'm sorry, Kimball Walker gave you 25. 8 of 19. 6 of 12 from the 3-point line. He gave you 25. Jaylen Brown gave you 18. 8 of 14. 2 of 3 from the 3-point line. Who else gave you some big? Williams, that their center, their backup center, he gave you 13 tonight. I thought he had some great plays on both offense and defense out there today. And Pritchard gave you 14. Now I'm not saying that in order for these two teams to see each other in the playoffs, obviously it has to be a championship. But these are two teams that are going to be there. I do think Boston's going to be there at the end of the season. They're going to be among the top teams. They're going to, especially when let me say, after this All-Star break, man, the pretenders and the contenders are going to be separated. That's just how it is, man. We know, we see teams playing around right now. You're going to see people get serious. You're going to see things pick up. Now, safety protocols and all that is definitely different this year. Hopefully have a lot more of this stuff under control. But for the most part, man, barring injury and protocols, you got to say that now. Before it was just barring injury. Now, barring injury and protocols, the Boston Celtics, a team that can get in there and make some noise, man. Get going at the right time. They definitely got the talent. Like I said, I believe Jason Tatum is a superstar in this league. And you just need him what you need, honestly, from the Celtics is Walker and Tatum to both have big games. That's when they're at their best. When they're both, as well as Brown. But when all three of those guys are hitting, man, they're almost unstoppable. With the Clippers, they lost, but they didn't have their number one guy. They didn't have the Claw. They didn't have Kawhi. I think, obviously, whenever you got a Kawhi Leonard on your team, you're definitely going to be there at the end of the year. I think they're another team that's after this All-Star break, they're going to start to fine-tune that thing and start getting ready for a playoff push. And we all know who Kawhi is in the playoffs. I mean, it makes no bones about it. I get no pleasure in saying that. Obviously, I'm a Laker fan, but I don't sit on here and lie to you, right? Like, the Clippers are going to be there. And they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, and you already know that. So, congratulations to the Boston Celtics on the dub. The Clippers get Kawhi back. They're going to be right there. I did feel like there was an opportunity for some other people to step up. But with that being said, guys, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Till next time, you guys be good, man.